Damn! Welcome back to the Suzuki Bandit project here. I've already been sourcing parts, and honestly, I want to see if I can repair this one first, but you can see after a painstakingly grueling time with a ball peen hammer and tapping a lot, because they put concrete in, a hell of an idea to seal things with, but they put concrete in each one of these, so I had to chisel these out carefully. And as you can see, they tried to seal it once, they didn't do a very good job, and then they tried to seal it again. Once again, they didn't do a very good job. So what I'm actually going to do is remove this cover today and get behind here and see if it's patchable from the inside versus the outside, because nobody has done this patch correct yet. And it is possible to do it with epoxy, but you have to know what you're doing. Clearly, somebody didn't know what they were doing. This needs to be patched from the inside, not the outside. So we're gonna take this cover off. I've loosened it with my anti-tamper bits already. It takes I can't even read this, a Husky T30, and I've already cracked these loose, so I can just back these out. So let's pop this off here and see what it looks like, because I'd hate to have to buy another cover, because these covers are like really hard to find in the US, and on top of that, people want like $240 just for this cover. So it would lead me to believe why they attempted to fix it instead of replace it. That being said, everything else on the bike is good. So I mean, if this is the only thing stopping me from cleaning it and stopping getting oil from everything, I may as well just address the problem, pop this off, see if it's fixable. If it is, I'll go get my epoxy tonight, epoxy it, let it, seal. I'll clean this off really, really good, and make sure that there's, none of the engine oil is underneath this when I seal it, and then let it sit overnight and properly dry, and then pop it back on there before introducing oil back to it. So, so let's go ahead and pop this off and have a look. Okay, cover's off. All the bolts are the same size. Now here's the deal. The reason why we want to look at this from the inside and not the outside is because this shows us exactly how big the crack is. And as you can see, not only is the crack all the way inside, which would have been repairable had it not done that. So that crack goes all the way to the outside of the case. No matter how many times I would have tried to repair this with epoxy, it would have just kept breaking, because as soon as you crunch down the bolts, it would break the epoxy that you put on there, and if it didn't, then the vibrations from the bike would have. So you can see it chewed up this entire gasket already just from the vibrations. Moving back and forth, shimming, it busted this entire piece. So this cover's no good, neither is this gasket. So I'm gonna fortunately have to blow that money I didn't want to replace this cover, because this is not repairable. This is a non-repairable part at this point, and unfortunately it's just to actually bring this down and have brazing rods put on this and done, it would cost almost the same as just buying a new cover and putting it on there. So this is toast. The bolts are still good, so we'll go ahead and pop those back in there. But unfortunately, that cover and the gasket are both shot. So we'll put these screws back in here so we know where they go. So the bike will not be on the road until that cover comes in, which unfortunately, the cheapest, most inexpensive one I can find is very expensive, and it comes from Germany. So we will be, unfortunately, waiting on a cover, a brand new cover from Germany. And that probably won't be here until November 28th. But that does not stop me from working on the rest of the bike. So there are a couple things that need to be addressed here. All right. All the rest of it is basically this bullshit cosmetics. But the seat, unfortunately, somebody tried to break into it. So they did raise it up enough that you could access the battery by pulling the clips out. But unfortunately, the seat is still locked into place where they busted the lock. So I now have to figure out how to get this unlocked from the inside, and then fix the lock mechanism before the seat's usable again. Then I have to order a seat cover and pop that on there. Now, as you can see, I've already started removing all the bullshit stickers that were all over this thing and cleaning it, and it actually cleaned up fairly well really quickly. So, the bike has a lot of potential to be really nice, really fast. I'll probably change the turn signals because those are garbage. I will probably put some aftermarket on here because those just look like shit, and we'll do that. I also want to connect that truck horn. Somebody took the time to install a truck horn and not finish the installation, so that still needs to be installed. So I'm going to have to go through, pull the tank, check the wiring, figure out why that's not installed, and then last but not least, so cover, seat, stickers have already been removed. Everything just needs a good cleaning now, and some of the stickers I had a hard time with, so they still have to come off. But this does have 4 K&N filters on it, so the only sticker I really left on there was the K&N, Suzuki obviously, and it does have a Revzilla chain on it. So I left the Revzilla chain on there, and then this sticker I can't get off either, and then I left the Revzilla on the back of the light. So, seat cover, right? And then this is falling apart. It needs to be resolved. I probably won't be driving this in the rain, but if you'll notice, this is completely disconnected and broke off the peg stand from the bottom. So the plastic became really brittle and it snapped. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to fix that. That's gonna be a problem in itself, and it's gonna be a whole lot of fun, let me tell you. But I think it's doable because the tack and everything still works. So obviously I will repair what I can here with the tack, like this kind of stuff. I'll reform all this, rebend that back out, put that back on there, and then I'll see if I can figure out a mounting bracket for this that will work, because that's very unfortunate that that broke off. Makes me sad. Makes me sad that the bat broke off. Oh. It was a closed system until these broke off. But everything still works. So we're just going to figure out a way to remount this and still make it look nice. That's what we're going to do. Other than that, bike looks like it should rock and roll. So pretty simple stuff, just frustrating. And obviously all this used to be silver. Let me rephrase that. All of this used to be silver. Okay? Silver gunmetal gray. And then somebody painted it like this. And then the heat, obviously, because they didn't use the right paint, just kept fucking peeling. Well, you know, people just don't make smart decisions. So we will fix this monster, and it runs good enough that I'm happy with it. I'm gonna put it on the road. It's gonna be my daily driver. Looks fun. The mirrors have to be replaced. I mean, really, this is coming down to people just not fixing things properly is what this is coming back to. So I can easily put mirrors on here, change the handlebars. I need to figure out the seat, get this off, because right now I have access to the battery, which is good because I need to fix that and charge it. But right now, just one thing at a time. We're just going to take it very slow, one thing at a time. All right, this bike has a ton of potential to be fucking awesome again. It just needs some real TLC from somebody who knows what they're doing. That's where I come in. It's a 2002 that still has a lot of life left in it. So, but it just needed the right person behind the wheel. That's all. So let me look at this seat here, figure out if I can unclip this, and that'll get us a step further because I want to have full access to the battery. I might want to just change the battery now if I can get underneath the seat properly, figure out what happened to the wire, what they did when they tried to self-destruct the wire, because that's really annoying. And I love that this just says 10W40 SAE on it. This is immediately going to be switched over to synthetic, because if somebody's just been running dead standard 1040 in this, it is time to make the switch to synthetic. This bike will love the synthetic. It will just love it. Love, love, love. So lots of potential in this bike. I cleaned part of the pipe and I was like, ooh, it's shiny. So a lot of this stuff will shine. All that started shining again once I started polishing and cleaning things off. I haven't gotten to all this yet. I still have to wire brush all this crap off here. But you can see things got shiny again really quickly. So we need to resolve this oil leak, which is simple. Somebody just obviously didn't want to spend the money. And overall, I would say, despite the seat, the bike itself looks pretty darn good. It's still in very good shape for 2002. So let's give it the love it needs. So let me look at this seat. All right, let's chat. This is loose. That would definitely be a reason why the bike's having a problem with the battery charging, because that is super loose. So I believe I have some lock bolts that'll work for that. And as you can see, I did get the seat off, so what I ended up doing was pulling the wire up from down there. Obviously, pulled it up to where I could get at it, took my bolt cutters over there, kink, and then I went ahead and pulled a bunch of extra out until I could grab it with some vice grips, gave a pull on it, which obviously opened these up, and then I went ahead and fed that wire back through here temporarily so I can get the seat up and down whenever I need to until I buy a new lock mechanism and just rewire the thing. It's unfortunate it gave out, but it is what it is. So I'll have to get a new lock for this because somebody tampered with it and broke it trying to break into things and didn't do a very good job, but I had to be able to access under the seat to work on things. So gotta do what you gotta do. But now the seat can actually go back in how it's supposed to, because forever now it's been pulled up. And so you can see they had to really jimmy shimmy things to make that work. But now you can just slide it back down to where it actually goes into its place. And so I have to reform the seat a little bit. So tonight I'm gonna put it back in its holster how it should be, and then obviously I can just pull on this in the morning and pop the seat out. So I'm going to let it reform overnight because it has not been in the right place forever now. So now I need to get that piece underneath there. It's going to be kind of a struggle because now these need to lock in, but as you can see they had to bend these out of the way, so I've got a little bending to do to make everything work again how it should. So yeah, there's a proper way to do things, and then there's a questionable way to do things. I do things properly, so I'm going to grab my big pair of ices. We're going to put a little pressure on them, give them a twist, and straighten some of these joints out here. So, anyways, this needs to go back that way. So right now I'm just going to put a little pressure on it, give it a turn with my wrist. There we go. Pop that back into its place till it's straight, because it needs to be straight just like the other one. Got a little bit more to go here. About like that. That's pretty lined up. That one's pretty lined up now. There we go. And now I should be able to fit everything back in where it goes. And then it should pop down like it's supposed to. Should have been done from the get-go, but was not for whatever reason. So, let's see if I can get this in now. Let's see what this is going to take. There it is, but I got to get the front down, so I need my hand to push down the front. That way I can snap it in, then we'll push the back down. So give me a second here. And there you go. The seat is now locked into place like it should be. She ain't going nowhere. Both sides are locked in. Boom. That's how it should have been from the get-go, but obviously, yeah. So now you just have to grab that either with your hands or a pair of pliers, give a little pull, and then the seat pops up. I can't, unfortunately, need both hands, but to show you that. But yeah, it's locked into place now. Everything's locked in. So we'll just get a seat cover for that. That's resolved at the moment. It's drivable like that. Things actually line up again, which, yay! Yay, things line up again. So it doesn't look so goofy, but yeah, the tears in the seat need to be fixed. So I'm going to order that cover. That's resolved. Tomorrow I'm going to pull these out, and you can see how these snapped off. Boom and boom right over there. So I'm just going to put those back into place where they go, epoxy them in, put some Bondo layer over the top of it, flip these back down, put the bolts back through, and then retighten these again. So I'm glad all this is still here. We should be able to reform all this and pop it back in without an issue. So, and then I'll have to obviously do a little work to keep this. This side needs to be resealed. I need to put that back in there properly now that the tab is broken off there, and then we'll put some glue in there. Hopefully you never see it. So a little bit more work to do on that, but we're making progress here. Making progress. And this thing needs an oil change really bad. This will be getting full-blown synthetic. So light off. There you go. What do you guys think, man? We're getting there. We're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. So, all right. So I just pulled the battery, gave it a full charge, reworked all the connectors, got that. So that's how that should be. Obviously, everything is tight now, and this battery should be able to take a charge. But next up, we're going to do battery terminal protection. Keep corrosion buildup from happening. This stuff is incredible. If you don't use it, you should. Maintain your batteries, they'll love you forever. Then we'll put the caps back over, and you check your battery every now and then. Give it a good dose. Doesn't hurt anything. All it does is keep corrosion buildup from happening in case you have a battery with a small amount of leak off. So, there we go. Battery's taken care of. No more terminal issues with that. Seats off, obviously, blah, blah, blah. Key on. Booyah. Booyah. All right. Only a couple things left to do here, folks. Fairly simple. And then we'll do all the maintenance stuff on this as we go. The filters all look very clean, so I'm not even stressing those. Somebody just put K&N filters on all those. You can see there are 4 carburetors, and each one got a K&N filter, as you can see. So 4 carbs, 4 K&N filters. So at least somebody put a little work into it. At least somebody did a little work. And then we'll clean off top of the battery, because I like things to look nice. I like them to look nice. You know? Very nice. And then I'll have to get my other piece to tuck that back in there. But so, there we go. Resolved. Taken care of. Electronics, good to go. Boom. Alright. All the batteries she gave me with this, even the other one in the car, none of these hold a charge. They're all dead as a doornail and won't even, they refuse to take a charge. Put the voltmeter on each one, my multimeter, these are shot. Depressing, because this one looks like it's almost new. I can't even get it to take a repair charge. So that one's toast. And Pirate battery, whatever this is, look like a scooter battery. I don't know. It's a 12S BS. It's definitely maybe an ATV battery, small motorcycle, something like that. But this one did take a full charge. And now that it's properly connected, it should maintain a charge while it's running. So it is reading over 12.6 volts, fully charged, so it's definitely got some crank power, which is good. So I got a little storage room. I was going through some of the cool stuff I found under the seat. Lots of fuses in here, all sorts of other stuff, little wires. I don't know what any of this stuff is. Haven't really looked at it, I guess. Yeah, well, that's cool. I don't know what that is. Yeah, look at it. Random spacers, battery connectors, some strange bolts. I don't even have any clue. But yeah, there you go, boom. So there you go, you can just stay right there. That's a good spot for you. I don't know why you were up so high. And the original toolkit is still in here, which is actually pretty darn cool. Once again, another random fucking wire. I don't know what that's for, but cool. I guess it has a random fucking wire. And as you can see, they pulled the horn fuse out. So, boom, I need to figure out why the horn fuse has been pulled. Why did they pull the horn fuse? That's fucked up. I'll figure that out next, because I reattached everything, so fucking horn should fucking work. Somebody put a truck horn on this. I actually want to play with it and make it do things, so we're getting there. Alright, cool. So, waiting on the case. Once I get the case, then we'll bang all the gears. I'll fix that. That's pretty much it after that. For now, I'll just put some tape on the seat until the seat cover comes in. And she should be roadworthy. Definitely need to clean the chain and the sprocket. Holy shit balls. But proper amount of slack. Somebody did a good job keeping up with the chain. That is perfect. Perfect amount of slack. Perfect. So at least somebody did some chain work to it. Good. Good. Sprocket's not all sharp. Sprocket's still in good shape. Chain's still in good shape. So, boom. Just stay out there, cruiser. This is the new project, bro. Don't hate, appreciate. So, yeah, cool, man. Big old 1200cc monster. Just needs some love. Love.